Our top focus this morning, former U.S. President Donald Trump is scheduled to appear at a Miami federal court. He's facing criminal charges of unlawfully keeping national security documents after leaving the office and then lying to officials who did try and recover them.
Yes, those are serious charges against Donald Trump. The case marks the first time a current or former U.S. president has faced criminal charges in a federal court. Adding to the drama, Trump is running again for the White House and is currently the front-runner in the Republican primary competition. Here's a report.
Miami's police chief, Manny Morales, announced on Monday that security would be stepped up around the courthouse in anticipation of throngs of protesters and supporters.
We are working very closely with our federal, state, and local partners to make sure that we have a comprehensive approach. We're bringing enough resources to handle crowd anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000.
Trump maintains his innocence and has called the prosecution a politically motivated witch hunt. He is expected to plead not guilty and fight the charges in court. According to a grand jury indictment released last week, Trump is accused of taking thousands of papers detailing some of the nation's most sensitive national security secrets when he left the White House in January 2021 and storing them in a haphazard manner at his Mar-a-Lago, Florida estate. Photos included in the indictment show boxes of documents stored on a ballroom stage, in a bathroom, and strewn across a storage room floor. The indictment also alleges Trump lied to officials who tried to get them back.
The walls around former President Trump are closing in from a legal perspective.
James Sample is a professor of constitutional law at Hofstra University.
These are very serious charges. And they're also the kind of charges that if the federal prosecutors and the Department of Justice are bringing them, as they clearly now are likely to be particularly easy to prove.
The charges include violations of the Espionage Act, which criminalizes unauthorized possession of defense information, and conspiracy to obstruct justice, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. But any federal trial in Florida may not take place until after the November 2024 presidential election. And even if Trump were found guilty, that might not stop him from once again serving as president.
In the United States, rightly or wrongly, a convicted felon, even if he's convicted, can be elected president. He could even, in theory, serve as president while incarcerated.
So far, Trump's legal woes have yet to dent his popularity among Republican voters. Trump is also due to go on trial in March 2024 in a separate case in New York State court, stemming from a hush money payment to a porn star.
Hi, everyone.
Now, the indictment of former U.S. President Donald Trump is full of evidence of an apparent crime. But one thing remains a mystery: a motive. Trump was charged with removing top-secret documents from the White House and refusing to hand them back. The big question is still unanswered. What explains Trump's conduct? Now, Trump could have avoided charges which bring up to 20 years in prison. That's what is the Justice Department view, that he could have avoided these charges if he had allowed National Archives officials to retrieve all the government records last year. Now, pressed by the archives, in January 2022, when the archives pressed him, Trump handed over 15 boxes of documents to the archives department. These included favorite keepsakes, also included letters from Kim Jong-un, the North Korean leader. Now, those boxes, it turned out, contained a total of 197 classified documents, including defense and intelligence documents. It sparked an FBI subpoena then to get any other secret files that Trump may have taken to his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Now then, what happened later? Trump's attorney found 38 more documents from a search of 30 boxes. This is the Trump's attorney finding these documents and then turning them over to the FBI in June 2022. And then they said, this is all we have. But in fact, there was another 34 boxes that still remained hidden in Trump's custody. On the 8th of August, the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago residence that was in August 2022, and FBI found another 102 classified files, including 27 in Donald Trump's own office. So these are the allegations that Donald Trump is facing. The indictment only charged Trump over the documents he kept after the first 15 boxes were handed over. Remember, after he was pressed by the Archives Department, he handed over 15 boxes, and there were others that were left at his home. He is being charged for that, not for the first 15 boxes that was handed over to the Archives Department. Now, why did he do it? That's the big question that everyone is asking at the moment. There are some comments coming from various people in the know of this case. Former Attorney General Bill Barr has said that this is because of a reckless conduct of the president. That is his statement. Now, Michael Cohen, Trump's former personal attorney, has argued that Trump saw the documents as political and commercial currency. That's what he is saying in comments to the US media. Now, what else could explain why did Trump allegedly keep those documents? Trump's penchant for mementos could be a possible reason that could explain the conduct of the former president. Now, the classified documents were recovered from the boxes that contained photographs, news clippings, clothing, and even golf balls. There were also empty folders marked classified, which Trump called cool keepsakes. Now, the indictment shows, what does the indictment show? The indictment shows that Trump believed documents should be his personal property as former president. Perhaps this could explain why Donald Trump kept those documents. Now, Trump's message for his attorney in May 2022, what did he tell his attorney? He said, I don't want anybody looking through my boxes. I really don't. So he perhaps thought that that is his personal property. Now, Trump regarded access to US secrets as a source of power and prestige. Perhaps that may be the reason why he did this. But the crucial point here is there is no evidence that Trump even knew the extent of what he had in those boxes. So that's the question which we are trying to look at. Why did he do it? Earlier, we spoke to our correspondent Susan Tehrani, who told us if Trump will be taken into custody on Tuesday.
The former president's legal team says that his hearing is scheduled to start at 3 p.m. local time. However, Donald Trump needs to surrender for pretrial services. That includes processing and booking and electronic fingerprinting. As for a mugshot and whether or not Donald Trump will be in handcuffs, there are reports that his mugshot may be taken. It won't be made public. However, the former president will not be in handcuffs at any time, and he is not expected to go to jail anytime on Tuesday. The pre-trial, we don't know how long it will take. However, we do know that the former president is scheduled to be back in New Jersey for a fundraising event.
Now, Susan also gives us a sense of what could happen outside the courtroom or if there will be any rallies.
So the former president is telling his supporters to get out and mobilize. In a recent radio interview with his longtime friend Roger Stone, he said that, quote unquote, we need strength at this point. He also called on his supporters to protest, but protest peacefully. He repeated that several times. Also, other supporters and activists have called on Trump supporters to gather outside of the courtroom and protest, quote unquote, peacefully. Trump supporters in Congress are very angry. They're saying an investigation into the Justice Department is needed for weaponizing the government.